Warp Zone.
The Empire strikes back with multiple laser attack, Decepticon infiltration, stealing information, type communication with recordicons, target massive sound wave stereo. I don't believe in a no-win scenario for an epic adventure, no retreat, no surrender. Cleaning up the city with Mayor Mike Hagar, clashing with the Foot Clan in the shadows of the street lights, spotlights, bright lights, and if you've got a new pet, don't feed him after midnight. Cruising on our bicycles, we never say die. From the attic to the basement, uncovering the secrets with the power bracelet. Ryu and Ken style, kicking it on the pavement. 88 miles per hour, we at a time. Meanwhile, at Warp Zone.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Meanwhile at Warp Zone. As always, I am Carey, and with me I have Scott.
What's up?
Also, I have Nick with me, a new face on the show. He is also a new face at the store. Go ahead and say hello, Nick.
Hello, people.
You dance for the people, Nick. You dance for them.
I am. You just can't see it.
And also, as per his invitation to Cloud City, we have Lando with us, and he's just dying for us to meet this guy in the next room. I hope it is a nice guy.
Look, guys, I had no choice. I'm sorry. He got here right before you. I just couldn't do anything about it.
I mean, he's the only black guy in the entire universe.
Look, dude, that's racist, all right?
I'm just saying, he's the only one. I mean, new movies aside, that's it. It's Lando.
The betrayal was whatever, but did there have to be as much sodomy?
Yeah.
Listen, everyone has that token black guy, okay? Even George Lucas.
Yeah, he did. He was fulfilling his end of his obligation.
Oh no!
By government.
I better write something in here.
I can work that in. So I find it. I actually, and I forgot to tell you guys about this. There is something before, and I don't know if you two, Nick and Lando, have listened to podcasts ever. But we do like a little introduction to the host, whatever you call it. And I come up with some great, question, and we all have to answer it. So are you ready for that?
Bring it.
All right. So last podcast we talked about our guilty pleasure movies, and I thought we could keep going because I do have a lot of guilty pleasure movies, but I feel like my guilty pleasure TV shows are way more embarrassing than the guilty pleasure movies because it's really easy to just sit down and turn on the TV and say, yeah, I'll watch this. Why not? Yeah, all right. I mean, I got 2 hours to kill. Oh, it's a 3-hour block. That's fine. We'll do this. Let's do that. So I feel like I always start. So I feel like Carey should go.
Do you want me to start then?
Do it. Everybody knows exactly. I love this topic because it's easy.
So I'll go ahead and start because mine should be pretty easy because my wife makes fun of me for it all the time. And it's actually, I'm going to lump two things together. And it's not even something like I brought up to her, like, oh man, I got to talk about this show that I watched back in the day. Or like, this is definitely not something I wanted to bring up to anybody.
This is getting real
silence
creepy.
Your phone too.
It's not that creepy. I mean, it's off, but it's not that creepy. And back in the day, I want to say it's like late 80s, early 90s, I watched with my mother and sister 90210. And what was the other one?
You're not blowing my mind right now.
Melrose Place.
No, I didn't like that.
Models Incorporated?
Well, it was.
I tried that out.
Was it
The
Models
guy
Incorporated?
Lost was in it.
Party of Five.
Party of Five.
I watched Party of Five.
Amy makes fun of me to no end. She's like, your favorite show, Party of Five.
Yeah, that's a good show.
It's not my favorite show. I've just seen it.
It's edgy. Somebody had abortion in it. It was great.
Man.
It really hit.
And it's like back then, like it was just like that was what people were watching. And we had one TV that actually had cable hooked up to it in my house. Like I had a TV in my room, but I didn't have cable to it because anytime my dad was like, yeah, I'm not running cable to your TV. You know what I mean?
I had the worst TV in my room. I had my grandma's old TV, and whenever like I was playing GoldenEye and an explosion happened, it would turn off and then turn back on. It's crazy.
I didn't have cable in my room until I was 17 years old.
I never had cable in my room. I would just
My
like to see
TV
it.
had like a fucking knob that you had to actually change the stations on
Nice.
until I was like 13.
I started
So-
off with a black and white TV, but man, I was rocking some knobs back in the day.
Do not edit that part out.
So many knobs rocking.
I stand behind what I said.
So wait, now Carey, is there anything recent? Like other than, I mean, it's got to be more recent. Those aren't that great. You should wait till you hear mine. But go ahead.
Everyone
Recent.
watch 90210.
I watched the hell out of 912.
I don't think I
don't
ever
give a damn.
did. So
You're
Trying to
not in
think
the
what
age
it would be.
demographic.
shut up. That's
How
not
old are
my
you?
fault.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
Gee, you were like a fetus when 90210 was on.
Listen, that's not my fault. Okay.
You can probably binge
Choose.
it. It's probably on Netflix.
Whatever. I didn't choose this life.
All right, Carey, something
I'm
recent.
trying to think. Is
Okay.
there anything that you've heard me talk about that you're like, man, Carey, you're really watching that? 'Cause
Probably every single show you ever
You know
say
what?
you watch.
I will admit to you, and it's not recently, but back when I actually had cable still, like 4 or 5 years ago, I watched some of those reality shows with like,
Is it Road Rules?
more like Celebrity Rehab or
I thought I
so
was going to
sorry.
say terrible stuff, and now you're the worst person.
That's
I've
pretty
ever
bad.
met.
But I'll tell
Yes.
you what, my favorite part about that show was watching Steven Adler from Guns N' Roses completely sober, like stumbling around, because it's like he hasn't been sober in like 2 decades, so this is like the high for him. You
Oh,
know what I
man.
mean, like he had like bad motor skills based on like being sober, basically.
So he was basically Ozzy Osbourne. It was the pre-Ozzy. He's just a big mess.
It's just a bit.
Pretty much any 80s
Yeah.
hair metal band
Yeah, they're just.
end up like that.
They
I'm
could
sorry,
do, they could
Nicholas.
do the
I'm sorry
PSA.
that you're disappointed in me for that selection.
That's
but
okay. Those are awful. Those are good.
It could have been way worse. You
Could've
could have
been.
honestly said Jersey Shore.
Yeah,
There's-
and I can proudly say I've never watched
Yeah,
it.
neither.
So
Me
yeah, see, like that's good.
Yeah.
I'm eyeing up a window that would have been prime if you would have said that once. So
super.
Whenever you talk about movies or TV shows, I don't even throw like reality TV in there.
Yeah.
It's like
just
it's
so
a whole
bad.
different category
that's
of,
just
really
a
is.
mess.
of
We don't
the,
need that in
it's
our
like
lives.
the AIDS of the media
AIDS.
family.
There's a lot of AIDS
Somebody-
and
See, not even that. That's the cancer.
It
It's
is.
worse than AIDS.
It is.
it's like it's not even sexually transmitted. You just get it and it just
Yeah,
happens.
it's fun.
Yeah, you inherit
You don't
that.
even have to do it. But okay, well then I'll go. Well, I've been and I can absolutely say that this is something that I've been into just about, ever since college. And it just got put on Netflix, and me and my wife are binge watching it right now, and it is delightful. But it's Gilmore Girls. I don't know if anybody knows anything about that,
Sounds terrible.
but it's absolutely
Yeah,
Is
absolutely
that the show that was narrated by Kristen Bell?
no.
you should definitely feel guilty about watching
I don't feel
that.
guilty. I love it. It's so well written. I mean, nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
It's not hard to write a blank page.
Yeah, it's based in like a Connecticut town where like there's no crime and nothing, and it's just basically this mother and daughter relationship, and and of course, nothing else can happen in her parents because they're rich, so they're not having any kind of financial issues. But it's really well written. It's funny, and I've met several. And the problem is with me bringing up this right now is Josh was supposed to be on this podcast, and me and him all about Gilmore Girls. So you guys can suck it.
You guys would have been tip to tip right now.
Oh man, I would have been. You know what? I was gonna bring out the guitar and sing the main theme song because he would have joined in. That's how much we love this show. So
Is
suck
it something
it.
It's impressive.
You guys suck.
you guys
Whatever.
suck.
Now say yours.
I hate you all.
now say yours so we can make fun of you, jackass.
Me? Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, see, I don't really have like guilty pleasures. I have
Oh.
like past mistakes. I have like past
Past-
mistakes where it's like it'll be a phase where like
I've learned
there.
from this.
Hey, there was a
Dude.
while where I actually kind of considered and thought that The Big Bang Theory was a good show.
Oh my gosh, that's so
You see
bad.
what I'm saying?
That's
Yeah,
really
no,
bad. That's really bad.
It's
You guys don't
exactly
hate
That
it,
was a
but I actually
mistake.
enjoy watching.
exactly. I wised up and goes, "Holy shit, that was bad. What was I thinking?"
I know
You
that
it's-
it's terrible, but I still enjoy watching it.
All right, add that to your guilty pleasures list then.
But if I'm not guilty about doing it, I don't put.
Yeah, that's why I don't really have guilty pleasures because
I'm
I'm so
sitting
open
here
about everything I
completely
watch.
naked watching all these shows, rubbing butter on my chest.
Yeah.
What Nick? What is it, Lando?
Nope.
Yes.
Okay. What you should do? Just list out everything that you watch, and we'll tell you whether it's you should be.
Okay. No, that's fine. I mean,
Don't.
well, I got some shame. It's not really shameful. It was the fact that I watched 20 episodes of Parks and Rec in a row yesterday. So.
I love Parks and Rec.
And no, it's not that. It's the show isn't a guilty pleasure. It's just shameful that I watched 20 in a row.
There's nothing wrong
stopping.
with that, Lando. I perfectly see no problem with that.
I was like, I got 8 hours to kill. Let's do this.
Let's do this thing. What season was it? Was it like a
5?
That's not the best season, so I kind of have to wave my
Whatever.
finger at you and say shame,
Whatever,
shame.
all right? That's just how I'm watching it. All right. Sorry, there's order in my life.
Go ahead, Nick.
I'm kind of in the same boat as Lando.
shut
I
up.
watched up until
I like going to
recently.
cool stuff.
I had a lot of free time on my hands, so I've watched basically every show known to man, and I don't give a fuck. I've seen episodes of Glee.
Hey.
I'll admit, Nick,
You
I
and my
Carey-
wife.
fully episode.
Carey knows his wife and I share a love of Veronica Mars, which I like
my
so much I donated to the Kickstarter.
Nick
Get
has
it.
wore his Kickstarter shirt to work. I can verify this.
That's true.
That's really good. That's a really good one. We should. That's amazing.
Let's see what else is terrible. I watched every single episode of the 10 seasons of Smallville.
Ooh, that's a lot of
I'm
episodes.
so sorry. Mostly because of the fact that it's about Superman, not that it's a bad show.
Yeah.
And it got real soap opera.
It was
like, halfway
it was
through.
extremely bad from at least seasons 4 to 10. But I
I'm
still
pretty
watched them
I'm doing it.
anyway.
I'm
pretty
figuring
sure
it
that
out.
show was extremely bad from episode 1 to the finale.
You know,
Who should
There are
feel more
levels of
guilty,
bad though.
having
and
watched that version of a Superman or having watched Lois and Clark back in the day?
Oh, I watched that.
Lois and Clark was dope. All right.
Okay.
It was
But like
kinda dope.
comparatively looking back, it's terrible.
It is awful. It's the
It's
worst. thing.
very, very bad. There were never any real Superman supervillains on it.
Yeah,
And
there was
every
never
single
really any real
episode,
feats of Superman in any way,
the
really.
conclusion of every single episode was, uh-oh, did they fall in love this week? Looks like they did a little bit.
Looks like they did a little bit.
Nope. They hate each other.
They hate each other.
Well, oh, crap, I forgot what I was gonna say. It was like how you are with Smallville. I was the exact same way for Heroes. I just kept waiting for it to become like the first season again.
I couldn't make it through the second season of Heroes.
It was rough. It was
stopped
tough.
like right before the end of season 2.
Yep.
It was
I'm
very
about
difficult.
that same boat. I was like, nothing is happening. And it's so boring
It's so
every
stupid.
episode.
It was so bad. It was so
And now
bad.
it's back in time. It's already become Turtles 3.
It's stupid. It was.
Oh God, we don't talk about that. Like, you know what? I think I understand why Valve has issues with 3. I mean, oh God, look at Turtles 3, look at Spider-Man 3. Like, no wonder we're never going to get Half-Life 3 because they're worried it's going to end up like that.
But they released that picture with it in the development strain of things. Did you see that? It was
No.
it was a picture of like everything they're developing, and it was like, I mean, it's all like in code.
Was it, or was it screenshots of Duke Nukem Forever too?
Oh God, don't joke.
I hope not. But I felt like if I pushed through to the second after the second season, it would get good. And I watched it up until it got canceled, and I was like, well, serves me right.
I felt like they did so much right that first season. They
Oh,
built so much hype
good.
with everybody, and then everything just kerplopped after that.
They made no plans for a second season. They were like,
Oh
this-
God, I didn't think this was gonna fly. I was just showing up late every day, not even taking it seriously.
So another little Gilmore Girls little side note is Peter Petrelli from Heroes is in it, and
And
what is it, Sam or Dean from Supernatural is in it. He's one of the daughter's
Peter
boyfriends.
Petrelli also goes on to be Rocky Balboa's son.
And what is it? Yeah, because they both have the lip. It's
That
the best
movie
lip
was
ever.
sad. I was really defeated by the Rocky Balboa movie. I was like, I don't like this at all. Rocky's just waiting to die now.
Everybody beats him in this.
It's just like, well, Adrian's dead, and a bunch of other bad shit happened. And
He's had like 9 strokes. He can't even talk close to right anymore. We gotta cut this off.
His
Paulie
son has
got
had
dementia
strokes.
and was attacking people. Where's my robot?
The robot. Goodness. Moving on. So let's talk about, I don't know, what should we start with? Movies? Does everybody want to talk about the movies?
Because we haven't even brought the topic up at all.
Oh, good point. What are we talking about, Carey?
Batman.
Batman. My dad's favorite superhero. He will talk trash on every single superhero except for Batman. And
that sounds like a fucking excellent man.
Yeah.
It's funny that I'll do the opposite. I will talk up every
Lando's gonna murder your Batman. Your father.
I want to point out to everybody that these 2 guest hosts were selected specifically for this topic. A, because Nick loves Batman, and B, because Lando hates him.
Oh, man.
We like to stir
Blasphemy.
the shit as hard as possible.
I mean,
He's a dork.
He's not a dork.
His costume looks dumb.
It does
So
not
what do you
look
think?
dumb.
What do you think's better? I say we let one of them have a.
fine.
It's a
You want to
good
have a
time.
pro or con rant first, Scott?
A pro or con? Should we?
I think it'll be fun to have like somebody say, a plus side and a downside. It doesn't have to be overly thought out or anything, but just go ahead and do your Dennis Leary moment on Batman.
Utility belt.
Utility belt.
Utility belt. It's pretty badass.
Lando, would you like to start off with the hate?
I mean, I thought the utility belt was going to go on the hate side, but I guess I was wrong.
Oh.
I mean, you can put
Any superhero that has a fanny pack can't be taken seriously. Let's be honest here. Well, hold on. Let me just unzip my zipper here and see what I got, like digging down at the bottom corner. There we go.
Cooler.
All right,
Got
first
a nice
of all,
rope
I
because I
have
can't
to
do
drop
anything.
personal knowledge that Deadpool is one of Lando's fairest heroes, created by none other than the Rob Liefeld, with probably at least 800 containers and shit all over his belt, and
That's
like
fine.
a cross torso belt and
Cross
shit
torso.
also, whatever that's called, like the Chewbacca thing.
It's a bandolier.
If that's accurate, then
Yeah,
Fucking A, it's
I don't
accurate.
know.
but Deadpool's funny. Batman is serious and not
But
funny.
the utility belt goes back into like the very fundamentals of the character, is that he's just a regular dude who's a super hard ass, so he's got to have some gadgets with him to deal with people who have powers,
He's
or else
like,
it's not fair.
it's like the Boy Scout thing where he's always prepared.
He's just a regular dude, just like you and me. We could all be
That's right.
Batman. We could all
That's-
be Batman.
And that's why he's the best champion
With,
See, and that's why I
superhero
think he's
ever.
stupid.
Because
I wanna-
anyone who reads comics, when you hit the age at like 9 or something, where you realize that it's not the 60s, so you're not going to be exposed to radiation,
Mhm.
which
Whatever.
eliminates like the entire Marvel universe.
Mm.
You're like, well, I'm probably not going to get blown up by a gamma bomb, but if I have a dead uncle or something I didn't know about who leaves me $100 billion or some shit from Scotland, I can totally become Batman. Like
Or
From
12 years of training, I'm 9
12
now.
years
At
of
21, I'm Batman,
Yeah.
100%.
That's all you need.
100%
or
Batman.
I could just be Iron Man.
You couldn't be Iron Man. You have to like learn all about making suits and shit.
That's fine. Or I'm so rich I can pay somebody to do that. So
There's so much involved in this.
I'm not just gonna walk around with a really deep voice like this and be like, "I'm Batman." No, I'm Batman.
There's nothing worse than the deep voice.
That's
I have
just
to.
how you
I have to
act
say
all-
that. I hate the.
I would love to
the
see
deep
his
voice.
tan lines from the summer. I mean, I guess he really doesn't get too much sun in that outfit, but imagine if he did. You would just automatically know.
Who Batman is.
Yeah, they'd be like, wow, he has some odd-ass tan lines on his face.
He's been wearing the cowl to the beach.
You got some seriously chapped lips, Batty. What's
Yeah,
going
like, I hope
on?
Batman never has to go to a real city that has, like, oceans and beach and sunlight.
That defines Adam West's confidence, because he always had that tan line going on, which is why he got constant ass.
Really? Because I thought it was the bat shark repellent that he pulled out of his
Oh.
belt.
Literally the
Brings
strangest
all
man.
the ladies.
He's a very odd man.
It's so odd.
That's why he's.
But I used to
why
watch
he's-
that show. I watched the crap out of that show.
You watched the Bam Sal Kapow.
You bet I did. And
I
I was
did
like,
too.
and I
Probably
was
seen
very
every
proud
episode.
to know. I was like, that was Adam West. Like I knew it. Like I was proud at that moment to say
I know
I know that guy's name. His name is Adam
I know who
West.
Batman is. It's over.
Batman.
Secret identity done.
Done.
I have cracked the code.
I'm 8, but I know what's going on.
So like, I'm gonna be like the next Robin at least.
That's right.
Oh.
You're Tim Drake, the
God,
Robin
that's
who
terrible.
was just smart enough to figure out who Batman was.
That's all. That's all
Calling
it takes.
yourself Robin.
Comic-
is worse
comic
than calling
book
yourself Batman.
That's all it takes. You just got to find out who Batman is, and you get to be Robin. But okay, so moving on. Let's talk about the movies.
Movies.
So I don't know if anybody else has done this, and I'm sure everybody's done it. So, but after watching a few of the newer ones with Christian Bale, I went back and I watched like, I don't know, as much as I could stand of the Tim Burton ones, and I
Okay.
realized, holy crap, these are awful. These are the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life. Why did I
I
like
enjoy the
this?
first one still.
Whatever. It is
I
awful.
also enjoyed the first one. I've never intentionally watched a single second of the second, third, or fourth ones again in my life since the first
Yeah.
time that I had to be subjected to them.
I can't say that.
How many times
watched-
do you
I've
You
watched
watched
every
Batman and
comic
Robin,
book
yeah.
movie like 4 or 5 times. No
Mhm.
exaggeration. Even like before there was actual blockbuster ones, I watched like the direct-to-video Captain
God.
America. I watched the direct-to-video Nick Fury movie back in the day.
I've seen those
with,
too, and I've watched that Captain America one probably like 5 times.
So did
but
I,
the
because it was the
second-
only one that existed.
But
With
the
the Baywatch?
second that I see Batman and Robin pop up on my television, like if it's
Oh,
on
it's
TNT or some
atrocious.
shit, I jump for the remote. I'm like, please, don't do this to me.
Don't do this to me.
I can't stop staring at the
Yeah,
no,
nipples.
They're
No one should have to be
catastrophically
suggested
bad.
of Batman and Robin.
It's pretty bad.
Let me ask you this now, Lando. Like, since I know you don't really enjoy the character, have you watched, or do you watch any of the movies?
I have yet to watch the newest one, and I watched The Dark Knight Rises. So I was like, well, Batman's a dork, he's a dweeb, but everybody says this movie's so awesome, I gotta watch it. And I watched it, and was like, I just did like a shoulder shrug, pushed it away, and I was like, that was pretty dumb. Didn't ever want to touch
Mhm.
Batman again. And the second one came out, and they're like, dude, the guy that played Joker's dead because of that movie. I'm like, all right, this dude went insane because of this. So I'm like, I guess I gotta watch this. And I was like, same thing.
No
Shoulder shrug,
way.
pushed it aside.
I like the second
Didn't
one.
phase
The
me.
second one's pretty terrific.
I like
I
the
think it's a
second one.
little.
But you also don't like the Joker in addition to disliking Batman.
Yeah, I don't like the Batman universe. It's not that I dislike Batman. It's every character from his universe. So
No.
it's not just,
I
That
will
you know.
say,
seems
I
excessive.
actually personally think I like the Joker better than Batman.
Hmm.
I think he's a cooler character.
Well, I mean, yeah,
In the movie.
but he's still not cool.
He also hasn't had like 20 movies and 10,000 comic books written about him, so
A lot of times
it's
the-
easier to like the
the
supporting
less- yeah.
characters.
I can agree with that totally because I find myself doing the same thing with a lot of older properties to where like the less appreciated guy shines for me now because I'm so
Right.
oversaturated by the main characters.
So you mean like all of Star Wars, where they pick out the guys that have 2 seconds in this background of a scene, and they're like, "That's my favorite character."
That's my favorite one.
That
You see
stormtrooper
him
that
for
gets shot in the
38
head.
seconds of this movie, sir. That doesn't matter. He's my favorite. Okay,
He really falls perfectly, and then he dies.
exactly. Like that stormtrooper, he's my specific. Like he's my favorite. The one that smacks his head, he's
That's the
my
one
favorite.
I am.
Yeah, I'm him for Halloween every year, not the other 32
I would
clones.
just look
Him.
at that Star Trooper and be like, Mondays, right?
The Ewoks humping his head. Get it up.
All right, so what what do you guys like about the newer, or should we talk about the older one first?
Let's talk about the older ones. I feel like we should talk about all the older ones. Which
So, like-
first off, which one do you hate the most of all?
Of the older ones?
Yeah.
Of Batman and Robin.
Is that the
Because
word?
it
Is that
seemed
the
like they just got worse and worse as they went on.
was
Like,
that the
they
last
did.
one of the?
that was the fourth one.
That was the Arnold Schwarzenegger one, and
True.
the Batgirl one, whatever that.
That
I
that
Whatever
was the
that,
Sam
like,
Raimi
90s
Spider-Man
war
3
was.
of the Batman movies.
Yes. I can agree with that completely. That is the Spider-Man 3 of the Batman movies.
It wasn't
We don't
as
Just
bad
playing,
as
just
Spider-Man
playing
3.
that piano all day.
That's
long.
basically it. That's even better analogy. It's like if you just took that piano sequence from Spider-Man 3 and made it an entire movie. That was
Entire
Batman and
film.
Robin.
That's terrible.
Batman's villains just appeared to dance a jig to his piano playing for the entire movie.
It doesn't matter. They don't have the emo swoop though.
Well, the big problem was the first Batman they took it seriously, and then the second one they got a little silly with it, and then the third one they went for like almost total campiness, and then the fourth one just even built on how campy that one was.
At what point in those old terrible movies did they decide they're like, we want this to be like a comic book and we want to have 9 villains in this movie?
Yeah, I don't know what that. I mean, that's still a bad business model today. Like with them, like, okay, Spider-Man 3, that means we gotta have 17 villains in it.
I think that the best and worst things in the Batman movie, the original one, are the same thing, in that Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton both had like these quirky performances that were both really good because they acted the parts really well and they had a little bit of like levity to them.
Right.
And they were like, oh, let's make the second one fucking funnier. That'll be better because that was the cool part of part 1, which wasn't the best part of the first Batman movie. And they just went down that road for the rest of the franchise and it got terrible.
Well, and then like with the second one, like just even the shit that they weren't trying to be completely silly with was just ridiculous. Like all the origins were just goofy. Like the
I didn't think
Catwoman-
Penguins was that bad.
Catwoman like getting pushed out of the window and just getting licked by a bunch of cats. I mean, like there's gonna be fucking bag ladies all over the country.
Listen, by that point,
Catwoman
if that's how you
much.
get like whatever power she has, I should be like Catman or some shit because I roll around with cats. Okay, I love me some cats.
In an
Maybe you are
inappropriate way.
Catwoman. We just don't know it.
Maybe.
You just need to start jumping and grabbing on the walls and stuff.
People just think that you're showing up for like a furry convention or something.
You know what? That's it. I'm gonna be Catwoman for Halloween this year.
Yeah.
It's decided. That's fine. The same. Halle Berry Catwoman too. Like that's gonna be me.
Oh my god.
Tear it up, Lando.
That's
Yeah.
probably the worst movie, the worst comic book movie ever made.
I've never watched
history.
it. I have not watched that. I have not watched Elektra. I have not.
I was
watched
gonna say, do we forget that Elektra has a movie? Because I think
It's
we
worse than Elektra. It's a
Whatever.
lot
I'm gonna get the
worse
spray
than
tan to
Elektra.
match Halle Berry and everything for Halloween. Okay.
I
And
really
look-
wish Halle
And
Berry
look,
was
I'm not talking shit on Elektra because if you want to go back to guilty pleasures, Carey knows I will defend
Daredevil.
the film version of Daredevil. So
But I
know
actually
you do.
enjoy Daredevil as well because to me it was like one of the first decently made comic movies.
It wasn't
That,
awful.
like,
It was good. It had some decentness to it.
it gets a lot of
especially
crap
the
though.
director's cut. The director's cut is really good.
There's a lot of hate on Daredevil.
There is massive hate. Pretty much everyone, I think, universally,
I
other
think
than
that-
apparently the people on this podcast.
But I
hate
think
that.
it's the people that there's people that actually hate it, and then everybody else that's too big of a baby to say they like something against the norm. Like, because there's a ton of people that it's
Yeah.
like, oh, that movie, I never seen it before. You know what I mean? And it's okay if you watched it. It's okay to like it.
It really is. It makes me
It's still not that good
so
of a movie
upset.
though.
to
But the thing
knowing-
about it, Lando, at the time, we didn't have shit for comic book movies.
I
That's
know.
true.
We've
This
had
is-
this discussion.
This is
many
coming
times.
after the goodness of Batman and Robin. So I was like, oh, God, yes. Thank you, God, yes.
Yeah, we had like the Batman franchise, that Captain America movie Carey was talking about, and like
So
Dolph
bad.
Lundgren's Punisher.
I
I know.
forgot the Punisher. I
I
forgot.
remember.
I have
love the
seen Dolph
Punisher.
Lundgren's ass at least 4 or 5 times in that movie.
That's hot.
Well, I watched Sons of Anarchy, so I've seen more men's asses than I care to.
What?
Yeah, but that's good man butt. Okay?
Even as a child, I remember thinking like, who is calling for the naked ass in the Punisher? I was like, this is just really out of place for me.
Look, they don't call him the Punisher for nothing.
Just to show out that he's crazy and he just likes to fucking pose around naked. This is supposed to be his like taxi driver moment or something. So, is there any more that you guys would like to discuss about the old ones, or would you like to transition into the new ones?
I just don't have as much to say about the new ones. They're okay.
I enjoyed them a lot more than the old ones. I mean, like aside
That's-
from the
Scott,
magic that
sounds
was
like-
the first one.
The thing with
Scott
those though
sounds
is
like he's the one who really likes the old one. So what did you like about them other than the first one?
I didn't like any of the old ones, but
So you have a lot of bad stuff to say about them.
whatever, it's fine. They're fine.
No, I'm interested to hear.
Yeah,
You
go ahead.
didn't like the
What?
first one?
The first of the
The 1989, the first Michael Keaton one.
Since most people like the first Burton one with Michael Keaton, what is it that you don't like about it, Scott?
Oh man, like the fight sequences were kind of retarded.
Is it the Prince soundtrack?
Was there a Prince soundtrack?
The whole soundtrack is Prince, basically.
Really? Is that true?
When the Joker's just throwing money up to the Prince soundtrack.
Yeah.
they're just trying to keep it as
amazing.
fruity as the real like character. That's all. They're
God
like, how,
damn it.
they're like Batman is like literally the gay superhero. We need to keep the
Oh.
soundtrack to match it. Prince, we got this.
Gotta keep it fruity. That's all you.
What can we
gotta
do to amp it up later on?
Just because he wears a full black latex
Listen, he runs around with a little boy.
tight
Okay?
outfit.
Is there a ball gag? Is there a ball gag in that
There
utility
is.
belt?
Yep.
That's for Robin when he mouths off.
Bring out the gimp.
He's like, Robin,
Is it?
I need
I
you to
would
go
just
save them. Robin's
like
like,
to
I'm
point
more
out-
useless than you, Batman. He's like, Robin, you're gonna get the ball gag if you don't go help them.
Oh my.
That when I talk about like how much I like characters, I like to think about the best version of the character, and that's the Batman without a silly ass little Robin running around with him. So I'm just putting that out there.
Even in the
What-
comics.
Yes, my favorite version of Batman in the comics is the where it's basically like not a superhero book, it's a crime book. It's Batman
It's a detective
out there, and he breaks people's bones, and he does whatever it takes to solve the crime that he's on. Not the one where it's him and 12 Robins, and I think he has a kid. I think he has a kid now. or
There's like a
something,
dog and a
like,
monkey.
He's like in charge of
It's like
his
the
own
Deadpool
firm
Corps. What
of
is this mess?
Batman's. It's like Batman Incorporated with he's like the head lawyer. He doesn't do any of the work, and the rest of the Batmans
Really?
He has a
do
bat
a
squad.
bunch of work or something.
That's pretty nuts. I've never heard that.
I used to be Batman, but I delegate it now.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, no, I did enough Batman, and fuck that. I'm just gonna hand out my Batman cases to these other Batmen.
He's
I
old.
just see him like just kind of like hunkered over for a minute and be like, kind of tired.
My caseload got too heavy.
Tired.
Been lugging
Fucking
around like
spent
a 20-pound
playing
utility
tennis.
boat.
Like
The
sit
ringer
down and
really
watch
thumped me hard
Netflix.
today.
I'm gonna take a break from this crime fighting and see what this Netflix thing's all about.
I heard
He's
there's
like,
an
oh
internet.
god, my movies are terrible.
My movies are bad.
No wonder no one likes me.
Nobody agrees
So-
with that.
He did not ask that last question. Batman's confidence is through the roof.
All right, so I guess we can talk about the new ones. I mean, I thought the second one of the new ones was the best. I thought the themes were noticeable, and the acting was great and was disturbing, and
I mean,
fun
hell
at the
yeah,
same
the acting
time.
was great. If it wasn't done well, Christian Bale would have fucking flipped out on
we
everybody.
really would have. You know what? That is the most
That's my
disturbing.
favorite piece.
Like, what is it? Like
Bale.
10 minutes of him just like laying into the guy, and he.
You fucking touch a light.
It's like, and he
I
even
feel like,
like
I'm missing out. I don't think I know anything about this, but I
Even-
like it.
He had a rant on one of the Terminator movies he was in, where he like
was
flips
it the
out.
Terminator?
On
I thought it was Batman.
No, it was Terminator.
Okay.
And he was flipping out on like one of the directors.
No,
I
it's
don't
just
even
a
think
guy.
it was a director.
just a
I
guy.
think it was just,
He's an extra
one of
or
the
something.
crew members.
Yeah.
Like a light.
Look it
Like
up,
some
double
guy that
check me,
goes
but I'm
like
pretty
$9
sure when
an
I
hour
read
and holds up lights.
when I
Just
read the
lost it on him.
description, the big battle was like Bale was getting pissed because this director was moving the lights a lot during like takes. Like Bill was all like, "This is the take" kind of thing, and dude's all fucking messing with the lights and pissing them off. That's what I read. Director, who knows? It could have been a grip or whatever.
And it, like, even during it, he's like, "Oh, you're a real nice guy," but it's like, I don't know. The way he was talking, he said he was unprofessional, so it sounded like he was an actor, and he just kept like he was like an extra, and he kept messing up or something in the background or whatever.
Says he It says he laid into the director of photography, who is essentially like the third director.
He's just the guy who sets up. He tells everybody where to put the lights and how to get what the director wants. So he's kind of like the second in charge.
That's why Christian Bale said, "Do you want me to go fucking trash your lights? Do you want me to fucking trash them? Then why are you trashing my scene?"
It sounds like he's out of his mind.
He is a crazy person.
Dude, if you get a chance to Google it or YouTube it, it's hilarious. He sounds like the epitome of
Does he do the Batman voice while you're doing it?
No, he does his own spoiled actor brat voice.
So he kind of does like the Patrick Bateman a little bit up in there.
He doesn't seem to have an accent when he does it, does he? Does he have an accent? Because he's British, right?
I think he had a little bit of an accent, Rockin'.
I couldn't remember because I don't know.
I'm going from recollection. It's been a while.
I'm going from that Family
I
Guy
haven't actually
episode
listened
where
to
they
it.
played it.
For a while.
Did you see that Family Guy episode when he's talking to Peter, and so Peter's like retorting to what he's saying.
Sorry.
Can nobody hear me?
I had child
He does have
aggro.
his accent in it. He's like, "I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. You want me off the set, you prick?" That's how it starts off.
He is John Connor right now, and you're
tremendous.
ruining it. You're ruining it for him.
Could be John Connor. Man, that movie wasn't that great.
I never
sorry.
He
watched
should
it.
not be John Connor.
But let's jump back on topic here.
Yeah.
So, I guess that of all of us, I probably am, maybe me and Nicholas, I would say, that enjoyed the newer movies, a decent amount. Because it seems like, I know what Lando's take is, and it seems like, Scott, you're just like, yeah, they're all right,
The
kind of
second
thing.
one was my favorite, and the other ones, I'm like, it's okay.
I thought the first one was really good. I look past like the kind of the Ross Al Ghul, like the way they glossed over some of the plot and shit for it,
Yeah.
just because it was a cool movie. The second one was fucking terrific.
You know what I hated the most
acting
about
in
the
it was
second
so
one?
Good. The plot in it was so good. Go ahead. What did you hate about it?
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
They
just
try to
bad.
Everyone-
force her down people's throats
everyone
like she
hates
is
it.
just some knockout lady, and like I'm not trying to cast any kind of dispersions on anybody's appearance, but man, I get tired of them casting her in these roles where it's like, okay, she looks like a 60-year-old woman already. She's got like the facial features of a grandma. Like, look at her face, and it's like, just like age it like a few more years, and it's like that's somebody's grandma's face.
If you take out that though, that's what makes Batman such a cool hero.
'Cause
Is
he
that you
let her
can
down.
write those kind of stories for him. If that's written into a Superman movie, he fucking flies around, rescues them both, the end, whatever. Everybody's pretty happy. But Batman had to let one of them die. He made a choice. It wasn't necessarily the right one, but he just does what he does.
Right
Was
on.
it like a boat full of kids or something? What did he save instead?
He had to decide between saving the girl, what's her name, Rachel, and
Harvey Dent.
Harvey
Right?
Dent,
Oh man, jeez.
because there's they're both set up to like
Why
blow
does
up.
he save Harvey Dent instead?
Well, he tries to save her, but he
He
goes
doesn't
to the wrong
know
place.
which location. They just give him 2 addresses and says he has to pick one and try to save one,
Yeah.
and he ends up going to the wrong one.
That's
Well,
right.
does he go to the wrong one, or did they tell him the opposite? You know what I'm saying? I can't remember. Did they tell him which address?
I don't
was
think
right?
I don't think they
No,
do.
they don't tell him which one. I think he uses maybe like his super detective work a little bit to try and
Oh, it's
figure
got to
it
be
out
this one.
because he's trying to save the lady, but he's disappointed, and
Yeah.
Harvey Dent's disappointed whenever he's the one who gets
Yeah,
saved.
Harvey Dent's like pissed, like "Why did you pick me?" kind of thing. Yeah, I remember
That's
that.
right.
Yeah,
Because
that's
they were
part
both
of
into
what
her.
breaks his character because he feels like Batman picked him for like intentionally or something.
Right. Yeah, that's when he gets.
Which is what I don't like about that movie as much as I like it, is that could have been a Joker as the villain only movie. It goes back to what someone was saying about the original
pumping
ones,
them out.
with them just trying to shove so many. There was no
They tried to
reason.
make it like an actual comic book where they would have like 20 villains per
Yeah.
issue, but they did
There
it per
was-
movie.
There was no reason for there to be a second villain in that movie. Like Harvey Dent could have been in it, and at the very end, maybe.
I think that's
You know,
what I think it's doable, like Lando's saying in the comic books. I think it's doable, but they never. It's always like an afterthought, like you said, Nicholas. It's like let's just fucking throw Harvey Dent as Two-Face
Right?
here,
Because
at the end.
spoiler, doesn't he die at the end of the movie? So he wasn't
Yes.
even a
That's
character for less than
wasted
half
space.
of a
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
One
he-
of
Like, he could have
Batman's
been
like top
actually-
5
Yeah,
all-time villains, and he's in less than half of a movie because they just wanted to shove him in there, and then they like seemingly needed an end to add on to that movie. If they would have just left it with the Joker as the main villain, it would have been a even better movie than it was already.
you know,
Yeah.
and this sounds like a really silly thing to reference, but I'm just jumping to it because, Scott, you mentioned the boat earlier.
Mhm.
Well, there's two, like another like, heavy moment later on is there's two boats, and each boat has the controller to blow up the other boat.
Mhm.
So like basically like the whole scenario is okay, Batman can save you all before they blow up, or once this time reaches, both boats blow up if one of you doesn't blow the other boat up.
Yeah.
And one of the things I think is hilarious is one of the people that they pick to have as, like a supporting character
Prisoner.
is, what's that?
Was he a prisoner or was it something?
Yes, it was a prisoner.
Yeah.
And I mean, it makes sense to pick him as a prisoner
He's a
because
big
he's a
guy.
big, crazy looking dude.
Yeah.
But I believe, I can't think of his first name, but I know they
Yeah.
always call him Tiny Lister, I believe it's his
from
last name.
Friday.
From Friday. And it's like, man, Debo is really fucking showing his chivalry here
True
when
colors.
I mean, if
really
I was on
redeeming yourself, Debo.
He really
if I
did.
was on a boat and they had the opportunity to blow me up on another boat and I had to wait on Batman, I'm pretty sure I would just blow up the other
I would
boat, so I
definitely blow up
know
the
I'm
other
gonna live.
And that's
Just
what
take that way out.
Joker wanted you to do. Just so
That's
you know.
fine. That's fine. Joker's the most
You
respectable Batman
just
character
let the
ever.
terrorists win.
You just
Yeah,
the terrorist of one.
I
Letting
would.
them win.
I would because he's gonna go insane and kill himself anyways. So
What if it was like a ruse though? What if you decided to blow the other boat up and it was actually your boat you blew up because He
I
was
wouldn't
like,
know any
"Oh."
different because I would see a giant flash and then I would be dead. So it wouldn't matter
Oh.
anyways.
I hope you were like up on the terrace of the boat and you get flung off into the ocean, and then it's like Titanic and your
Oh.
love dies in your arms.
oh,
That's how I feel about you
Nick's
now.
hoping
after
that
you're
you
a
die
game
frozen-
changer for Batman.
hanging
Love you
onto
too,
his
Nick.
door.
I'll see you this week, Lando.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, buddy.
Nick's gonna like sedate you and deport you to a country that you have to float on a piece of wood to get here from.
Oh man.
And just
Don't
so
send me to Cuba, Nick.
he can
Please don't
have
do
the
that.
scenario
Not
played
that
out.
far.
It doesn't have to be Cuba.
It's
It could be
basically
anywhere.
like a gulf. That's not even an ocean to go across.
Yeah, I mean, weren't they like right offshore anyways? Like, couldn't they have all been like, we're just gonna swim?
I
Pretty
think
sure
that it
we
was,
might get cold, but
they
we
were
can
said that
swim.
if
Sure.
they left the boat, I think it was like a speed bus scenario where like, okay, you can't slow down, but you also can't get off the bus because I just happen to be watching you.
Yeah, I think there was like
I don't even know what we're talking
There-
about.
there
Right?
was, like,
Speed,
that
you don't know
there-
speed? It's a speed,
Oh, speed. Yeah,
scenario.
you had to
It's like the
maintain
dumbest
a
terrorist strike ever, where they're like,
55 miles per hour or something.
yeah, you keep this thing going real fast or you're gonna die. That doesn't make any sense.
I love Speed.
Doesn't
so-
have to make sense because Dennis Hopper's in it. and
It
he's
is.
crazy.
This is true,
Shoot
but I'm
the
pretty sure you can
hostage.
have like better
Shoot the
terrorist,
hostage.
attacks.
Shoot the hostage. That's all. I loved what is it? Harry or Lloyd from in that movie. Even though he died.
Oh yeah.
He was great.
It's so funny because he'll be in something super ridiculous, and then they'll actually put him in something where he's got like a serious role, and it's like he does surprise you sometimes. It's like he can show some like decent emotion in other acting roles.
I think he's a good actor. He likes to have
Do
fun,
silly
too.
stuff.
Yeah, he likes to do silly stuff.
I
too.
can't blame him there. I mean, I would love to do silly stuff.
Mhm.
Like who would want to always be in serious movies when it's got to be a ton more fun making a silly movie.
Oh yeah. You
You got to
be
do that
silly.
retarded slave though to get your Oscar.
Oh man. Retarded slave.
Offensive podcast.
I can't remember what it is, but there's something where like that's what the movie. Oh, it's Tropic Thunder, where he talks about
You
like
never go
you got to
for
do a retarded
retard.
slave movie to get to Oscar.
Never go for a retard.
Oh man.
Go full. I love saying that in games. Like that's something that
Never
me and
go.
Nick. When we're playing games and somebody just kind of suicides, and we're like, "You never go full retard."
Almost always someone has a nice quip.
And
Yeah,
anybody out there
that's
listening that's super upset about retard and the word calling somebody a retard, and it's all in good
Carey's
fun.
retarded.
Nobody hates retarded people. We're just quoting movies.
Carey and I actually have a retarded child together,
Yeah.
so
He's mildly
we can't
retarded.
be held responsible for
It's
any.
Lando.
Yeah,
It's
guys,
him.
I'm sorry.
It's
He
always
is.
been you.
He is
My
the
brain doesn't get enough oxygen.
he is the spawn of backroom sodomy.
Oh, geez, back room. Can't even just be proud of it.
Not up.
No.
It's
not
off-putting.
light of day.
It's off-putting to the others.
I was like a storage room baby. You know?
Oh, storage room.
God.
He didn't even get thrown in the garbage. He was like thrown in a cardboard box in the corner.
Mm.
Said free. Just
Said free.
just take
Can't
it.
keep customers coming in when that kind of thing is going on in the front room.
There's something. Every time I come in here, they got the gimp out.
The GI Joes are behind the sodomy.
It's like, why are everybody's filming it now? Ah, this is embarrassing.
You have your camera phone out for this is a private moment.
I'm not enjoying it.
I'm not
Sir.
enjoying it, sir. All right, so let's get back to the Batman.
Let's move
So-
on. Let's move on to the cartoon because I think we spent.
Hold
enough
on,
time.
before we jump, I want to go
Okay.
to one more thing. So speculation now, Nicholas, because I don't actually pay attention to anything, so I just pull it out of my ass what I think is happening in the
The
world.
new one.
Now I know that the next one's going to be Batman versus Superman,
Mm-hmm.
but
That's gonna be a mess.
I can't.
aside
imagine it
from
going
that, I mean, do you think that they're going to reboot? Do you think that they're going to do something with Joseph Gordon-Levitt being either the new Batman or a
He's gonna be Nightwing.
Nightwing?
They already released the poster, right? He's Nightwing.
Well, is it a real poster or like fan created
I
crap?
don't know. He looked real.
There's a
That
lot of
sounds-
fan created crap.
Yeah, I
that looks
think it's
really
fan
weird
created.
or real
Yeah, well.
promising.
I think that
What?
Affleck is obviously going to be the best Batman ever. The suit looks fucking dope on him. He's an amazing actor and an incredibly handsome man. So that's going to be terrific. The only way they can fuck it up is by because they're saying it's a Superman movie with Batman in it. They're not promoting it that way, but when you read stuff from the writers and directors and shit, it's a Superman movie with Batman in it. So I feel like it's going to be terrible because it's focused on Superman.
And
they
why
want
would
to...
Why would they ever do that, seeing as the success of the last?
Because they, for some reason, DC and Warner Brothers still feel like Superman is their franchise character.
And I don't understand how they cannot be come to the reality of Batman being so much bigger than Superman.
I don't understand that either, but they want to launch their couple next movies and then launch the Justice League, and they want to have Superman at the center of that for some reason.
They
I'm
want to
gonna
be just
gamble
like.
$1 billion company on stubbornness.
They want to be
When
just like the Avengers. That's what they're.
Yeah, that's what I was
they're
gonna say.
trying
I
to-
feel like that since they're trying to compete with the Avengers, they're going to rush that movie,
Yeah.
and they're going to rush 9 introductions within
Yeah,
2 movies, and it's not going to go well.
I don't think they're not going to do it right. I know it.
Yeah,
No,
well,
they're-
they have
they've
they
already
have a
started
track
bad.
record of horrible
Yeah.
movies.
They do.
They haven't
I mean,
done anything.
It doesn't help that their characters aren't good to make movies out of to begin with, but
Nobody's
and that
agreeing
goes
with you
beyond
now.
Batman. The whole back to the Superman thing. Oh God, he's just as bad as Batman. He's oh my God.
You kind of
I've never
sound like
been a
Batman
big
when
fan
you're
of
talking.
Superman just because I always kind of felt like up until certain story arcs, it's what is the fear of the outcome? This man just does everything. So
That's why he's
Yeah.
a shitty character.
Yeah.
to
He
me,
is.
and I
He's
hate
terrible.
Superman. But you have to also take it into context.
he's the first
When
superhero.
when
basically.
was he created?
No,
you
I
know what I
understand.
mean?
They really
Take
raised
that
the
origin,
bar
and
so high.
that origin was, like authentic or new, or
Oh,
yeah,
it
it
hadn't
was
been
like
done in
baseball.
comics
Groundbreaking.
in 1940. It's and the same thing with, that's why Batman, I think, is such a great character. That origin is kind of universal, I guess, becoming
pretty
an orphan
dark
or whatever.
origin.
But
Yeah.
it's dark, and it defines that character, at least like the version of that character that I like.
For comics of
So-
that era, I mean, that's a pretty dark origin
It
for
was,
a
yeah.
superhero comic, especially. I mean, you got horror comics and stuff like that back there, detective comics, and I don't mean the exact one titled detective comics, but the genre itself that have grittier storylines. But that's not really something that you've seen in what would be, geared towards a kid, I would say.
And even, like, I don't want to turn this into a DC versus Marvel war or whatever, because I
It
don't
will
want
be a
Lando
war.
to be mad at me. But even like take Green Lantern. Oh, there's this huge core of superheroes, and the dead alien one landed on Earth and gave out a ring. And Wonder Woman's from this planet that's based on Greek or Roman mythology or something like that. And
I always love it when other
the
planets,
Flash.
like, their planets exist that have, like, our history to them,
Yeah.
essentially.
right?
Makes no
So
sense.
every DC universe.
The
Yes.
Flash got hit by lightning, and there were chemicals around, so that, like, at least that's the diversity that created comics. And then Stan Lee came along and was like, well,
Radiation.
it's the 60s, radiation made everyone. Fantastic Four went through some radiation. Spider-Man got bit by some radiation.
Doesn't Stan-
Daredevil got radiation in his eyes in like a truck wreck or some shit like that. The Hulk was just like standing near a radiation bomb or something.
And I mean, don't
Yeah,
they
like-
even
like-
kind of like reference that as a possibility of mutation and
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. And the other thing is like, there's like maybe radioactive genes in people too.
Right.
So basically, like, radiation happened, and that's everyone's origin. If like you got an extra thumb, or like you can lift 10 extra pounds, radiation happened to you, no problem. We got your story done.
And in Stan's defense, though, isn't that like, hasn't he said basically it's like right after the atomic age? You know what I mean? Where
Yeah,
all that
that's
all
what
stuff
everybody was real worried
prevalent.
about.
Yeah,
It was all,
He's,
yeah.
it's that, and then he combined like a facet of his personality into each one. He said like the Hulk was
Isn't it always a character
patient
flaw
scared,
essentially?
plus his like anger
Right on.
was his thing for the Hulk, and it's all Mallrats. It's all in Mallrats.
It
Just
is.
go watch
It is all Mallrats. Just watch
Then he
Mallrats.
asks-
Evan Smith.
He unfortunately doesn't tell you, any genitalia questions that Brody
No.
has inquired about the Thing's dong, and if Mr. Fantastic's dong stretches. They were all dong related
They
questions.
were.
I think the one that I always wanted to have answered for real was the shotgun blast out the back of Lois Lane. If
Oh, man.
Superman actually completed consummating their marriage or whatever in the storyline.
Maybe he faked it.
I
probably
guarantee he shoots a load like a shotgun out her back.
Kryptonite condom.
But that would kill.
The only way.
It would just make him lackadaisical.
Oh, there's even some Batman love in that movie when we have the utility belt as used by Silent Bob
Absolutely.
to save himself from the security guard.
What's his name?
Doesn't he also do a
The
zip
lift
line?
there.
Their whole Blunt Man and Chronic thing
Blunt Manning?
throughout the in Jay and Silent Bob is Batman related.
Let me ask you this then, Lando, since you have been a hater of Batman, and I know that you're definitely a supporter of Iron Man. Is it possible that without Batman, maybe there wouldn't have been an Iron Man because possibly there's a little bit of influence that has seeped
Oh, there
from one?
probably most definitely is. I don't say like how do I put this? I like Iron Man. Iron Man's awesome.
Iron Man
he's
is awesome,
he's
and honestly,
such an awesome
I would
character.
side with
but,
you in that regard too. That if I had to pick between the two, I would choose Iron Man over Batman.
Yeah, but
Carey, Batman could make armor if he wanted to. It's not his thing. He's not into armor.
He will in the new movie. Did you see some of that stuff? He has
it's
some,
it's
like,
more the
armor.
fact that like
Ugh.
they tweaked Batman. They're like, all right, well, this is here. Look how much better we can do this. All right, we're gonna do this one. Yeah, look how much cooler this is. He can fly. He got lasers and
Laser.
kinds of cool shit.
I don't think it's. I don't think he's not similar to like the root of Batman, because Batman was it was like a detective novel, but he dressed up and he looked
Iron
awesome.
Man was an escape story too.
And Iron Man's not a detective ever.
Nope.
Was it ever a detective story that he ever made? It was
just a scientist.
Just a weapons, whatever.
And
but
if you take like the current movie versions at least into account, like Batman's the hard-boiled, he'll do anything to win character, whereas Tony Stark's Iron Man is the, I'll drink a cocktail and then fucking something will happen. I'll put on this suit, no big deal.
And I'll blow everything up.
I got some burgers from Burger King. Everything's straight.
Burgers from Burger King.
Was he like that in the comic book? Because I never really read a lot of Iron Man.
He was actually, they played up the drunk aspect a lot as his character flaw in the comic, I remember. I mean, they kind of touch on it like he drinks, but I mean, in the comic, it was like an issue. Like,
it was a long ongoing thing where he was a straight up alcoholic, and it ruined him for quite a while. But then
they had a long story about it, and then it culminated with like a really dark story about his alcoholism. And then since then, I think that he's been just kind of cool.
He's a lot more happy-go-lucky these days.
He is.
Well, that's fun. Well, moving on to the cartoon, because
it's terrific.
It's my favorite thing in the entire world, and it was something that I could do. And I'm speaking of Batman, the animated series, of course. It was something that I could do with my dad because he loved Batman, and it was such a great show, and it scared me even when I was littler. But it
was a little dark for a cartoon.
It was
of that
incredible,
era.
And everybody was so multi-dimensional. Like even the characters all had flaws. The bad characters had good traits, and it was just
right.
It was like even like what's it, Mr. Freeze? His episode was
like a tragic,
heartbreaking.
Villain. Yeah,
and just everything was so well done. And I was reading about it like a couple months ago, and it was pretty crazy just remembering all the like different episodes and stuff like that. I just loved it.
Now, something I want to point out, and like you need to correct me if I'm wrong on the second point. I mean, it spawned original material that is, fanatically followed.
Harley Quinn.
Yes,
I am so sad that you guys said that, because that was going to be my favorite fact.
Nick stole both our thunder.
Yeah, you really did. You suck, Nick.
I thought you led me into it, Carey. That was
here. Let me just say it because I wanted to say it. Harley Quinn was created on the original Batman animated series, and then it was so popular that she made it into everything else. The comics, the games, everything.
The most popular thing in the Batman universe.
Incredibly popular, and her even remembering when she first showed up in the show, she was just like this little girl who had no faith in herself, and she had to latch on to the Joker, but she was and she always had that, oh, maybe I'm gonna be good, but probably not kind of thing going on. And I don't know, I thought it was awesome. No, I wasn't attracted to her, Carey.
The one I wanted you to correct me on if I was wrong, for some reason I kept thinking in my head that Clayface spawned in the animated series as well.
I don't know.
Am I incorrect on that, gentlemen?
Yes, because Clayface at least existed in the 80s when I collected comics.
So maybe, if anything, maybe it just kind of
I think it brought him back
him.
and changed him. Yeah,
because he was terrific. That was probably one of my favorite storylines. Was like the origin one with Clayface, and I loved any time he was involved in an episode because he was just a badass character.
Another big character was Montoya, the detective.
Okay.
I think she went on to become the Spectre, or some other character in the DC Comics universe was created on the show.
I very vaguely remember her, and I don't know why. For some reason, my mind is mashing her up with the Hispanic lady cop from Gargoyles.
Yeah,
well, she is the Hispanic lady cop from.
But she's good, right? She's not bad.
Yeah, she's a good character.
Yeah, I remember her.
I think because you remember there was the one detective that basically hated Batman and like
The fat one,
yes,
Harvey Bullock.
So you have Bullock, and then she was like the pro Batman detective.
But she wasn't a
Yeah.
detective. She was just a policewoman, right?
Beat cop or whatever.
Yeah,
I think.
she was like low on the totem pole, but she was like,
Right.
I see everything that you do, and I think you're awesome.
Yeah.
This fat guy is just fat, and he's dumb, and because he's fat.
And I loved about that, like, I would say that my two favorite Batmobiles are the original Tim Burton movie Batmobile, and then the animated series with that just super exaggerated, so much longer than it really should be Batmobile. It's
phallic.
terrific. So phallic. He is just going to plunder the villains with
Oh
that.
man, sodomize them. But
See, everything you guys are saying pretty much goes right over my head because the only thing I remember about the show is when it came on as a kid. I would go, ugh, and change it.
oh man, you have no idea.
Well, how about
Even-
this? Like,
Terrible.
No, I have disliked Batman since I was a child.
You know what?
As
And
long
you,
as I have memories of superheroes, Batman was always one of my least favorites.
yeah, I feel
Lando's
sorry
dad
for
had just
Did-
finished reading like a Marvel comic before plowing Lando's mom.
I was going to ask if they consummated their relationship around any kind of
Radioactive material.
event.
You know what's funny? All my comic love, everything comes from me growing up watching Spider-Man stuff.
Right on. And the Spider-Man animated series is terrific
It
It's
as
was.
well.
fantastic.
The new one is great. Or if
The
I don't know
new
if it's
one's
new.
good, the 80s one is good, and the 90s one is good.
Yeah, I like the
I
60s
have-
one too.
The 60s one's not so much.
More
60s one's cool.
Spider-Man comics than I have Batman comics. Probably like
It's
2-to-1.
So who do
ratio.
you love more, Nicholas?
As a character, I like Batman more. As a kid, I read way more Spider-Man comics, and I still love the character.
You know what's
the thing
funny? When I
about
was
the thing
Yeah.
about Batman and Spider-Man, like for a long time when I was reading comic books, it was who was like I really like. It was all about the art, so I wouldn't always completely read the book. I was all like, and I just felt like they had way more. They had way better.
Yeah, I was never
artists
that
for
jazzed up
Spider-Man.
about a lot of the DC artists.
Some of
especially back
the
in day.
Batman artists were just nuts. Like they
They
were
didn't
just
really
all
like.
over
They
the
kind of
place.
always felt like everything was behind the times for me with the DC stuff when I was a kid. Like I
Yeah.
felt
Well,
like it.
in the 90s, that's just they were like two companies going different directions.
They really were.
DC did writers and Marvel did artists.
Right
You know,
on.
Marvel paid all the upcoming, young great Robert Liefeld artists, and DC
Robert
had
Liefeld. I hate
better
Robert
writers.
Liefeld.
Tracers.
Tracers. Yes. Rob Liefeld, I'm sorry, it's awful. And I'm sorry, and I'm sad that he created Deadpool.
He
He's
is,
got his place in
he
the
is
comics
awful in the way
universe.
that he
Artist-wise.
was so amazing that people loved him so much that it's now like they did literally like his books sold off the shelves
Yeah,
when
he
they
was-
were
It
new,
was crazy.
and then it turned into hate so quickly.
Because it's like they
was the
when you
Carlos
get drunk
Mencia
and
of
you
the
go
Marvel
home with a
Universe.
lady, and then you're like, what did I do? What is this? This is a man. It's a man. It was a man the whole time.
It's
I
Rob
mean,
Liefeld.
he was bad the whole time, like from a critical perspective, but he sold so well for a long time that I have tons of respect for him.
I don't know why that doesn't make sense. I mean, well, here's the thing.
It doesn't make sense
Because
that he ever
wasn't
sold
that
because
great.
it
He
looks
said,
terrible.
Fuck you and did it
You
anyway.
can look at one issue of his book and be like, this guy doesn't understand anatomy. He doesn't
No.
know how to draw feet. He
It was-
covers up everything with pouches.
It was all about.
He crops off hands and feet intentionally just so he doesn't have to draw them.
They
But
have like
he seems
three
like a funny
stances.
guy. He
They-
seems like a funny guy on Twitter,
Yeah.
and he got away with that
Uh,
while like making
and
much
starting
more than $1 million.
starting Image, right? He started Image, so he's doing very well.
Yeah.
Did he start Image Comics?
Yeah, him and Seth
Okay.
Seth MacFarlane.
Fun fact,
or
didn't
not
know
Seth
that.
MacFarlane. Yeah.
Impressive.
Who's
No wonder
MacFarlane?
Image doesn't do so well.
I was reading about them. They have
Where was
been
him and McFarlane, right?
MacFarlane and Jim Lee and some other.
Oh, I
people.
forgot about Jim Lee because you had the Wildcats.
Jim Lee, he's
That
amazing.
Young Blood, and man, was Young Blood fucking terrible.
I never read it.
Oh my god.
How long did you stick with it before you?
I
were
didn't
like...
stick with it very long at all, but everything about it. Like everything I see, if I see the comics or the figures, every time it's like, fucking.
It didn't look good. I mean, they have like a big cat on one of their teams.
It's just so generic too.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, okay, let's take a couple of the popular groups and pull a few token representations I can of them.
So, F Youngblood, is that what we're coming with? Is that no, I'm not gonna say it.
There's no redeeming quality about Youngblood.
You know what is awesome though is The Authority, which I think was published under Image for a while, which had a character called Midnighter. Have any of you seen him?
I've heard of
about
Authority, but I'm not
I've
sure.
read a little bit of Authority when Mark Miller was doing it.
Right? And so Midnighter is this dude without basically superpowers, and he wears a black dark costume, and he hangs out with this guy named Apollo, who's like a sun god with, who can fly. So they're obviously Batman, Superman, doppelgangers, except they're gay and they're super violent and they F each other.
Ambiguously gay.
So
too.
it's basically Batman and Robin.
No, it's not ambiguous at all. They're like, hey, we're in love and we F in every issue.
So it is Batman and Robin. Respect.
It's Batman and Superman.
So, you think this nipple is part of my costume, but this is my actual nipple.
Is it? It is.
Robin, you got me so excited. It's poking through my bat suit.
It's not. I don't even wear a bat suit anymore. This is body paint.
Robin, to the Bat Cave.
All right, so I feel like we should wrap up pretty soon here. So
Yeah, because
we've gotten super off topic as always, but
As always.
you took my favorite. Now, well, here we're starting 2 new segments, whereas the first one will be I will go through a bunch of facts that are surprising apparently, and we talk about them or something. I don't know. How about
we just comment on them briefly, since we'll
Yes,
talk
please
about each
comment
topic
briefly.
forever.
I was going to say, yeah, we should probably wrap this up.
we need to wrap it up. So but you took my favorite one, and I was just gonna wing it after that. But
The
let me
Harley
see
Quinn
here.
one? That was Carey's
Yeah,
fault.
Harley Quinn.
See, I know next to nothing about Batman.
Carey's asking leading questions. Words just came out of me.
Yeah, I'm sad that you knew it. That's my
Aw.
problem.
I was gonna spoil it if Nick didn't, so it doesn't matter.
So now I have to
Glory be to
look for some here. Hold on a second.
I thought you had.
I
Is that the
have
only
them, but
one
I
you
don't
have?
think they're that as good as Harley Quinn's.
You want to just skip that segment then?
No, I like that segment. I
Can-
want to make it work. Oh wait, here's a good one. Okay. Batman was created by not just wait, no, that's not what I want. That's not the one. Where is it? I saw it somewhere.
Okay, I have a good one.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
How many Robins have there been? Do you guys think?
I'm gonna
I'm gonna
get
say like 5.
12.
I was going to say, I think it's around 4 or 5.
12. I'm sticking with 12.
Yeah, I don't really know the answer.
Oh, come
It's like
on.
at least 5.
I knew Nick was gonna say that too.
You're a dick.
Yeah,
I haven't
that
read
was-
the comics for like
Hold on.
4 years, but I can name at least 5 off the top of my head, so it's 5 plus.
We're gonna find out.
It's
in
probably
about
6 or
5
7 by now.
seconds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hold on.
Well, seeing as I googled it and there's a thing that says Batman's 10 greatest Robins, I'm gonna say we're all wrong.
Yeah.
We're all not even
I didn't
close.
investigate this any further than
I was
that, but
so-
if there's a 10 Robin checklist, then
So if this was
But
Price
there's
is
like
Right,
at least
who
5
would've won?
main ones who did it for a while.
It
It's ridiculous at this point.
wouldn't have been me who if it was Price is Right rules. Who would have won? It would have been did anybody say over 5?
I said 5. You said 4 or 5. I think.
Yeah, I said like right around there because that's what
I don't think
thought it
anybody.
was.
I don't think anybody won.
You won, Carey. Let's just
I
say
won.
that you won.
Hooray!
You win.
So where was it? Damn it, we were talking about it, and I didn't look while we were talking because I'm drunk. I'm just kidding. I'm not
How about this? I'll throw a little tidbit of information out. You know, in earlier comics of Batman, the Batmobile actually had like a Batman face on the front of it.
Yeah, sometimes he ran over the Joker with that face, and it was cool.
I kind of want to get a vehicle that has my face on the front of it now.
There you go.
A
Put it on
big.
the front of your minivan.
I will. Big old Carey face just smiling at you on the front of his van.
Could do
I think
like Maximum Overdrive and get the
Oh, the Gremlin or the Green Goblin.
Green Goblin on it.
Oh man.
Maximum Overdrive.
Man, that makes me so happy to think back that was the Green Goblin.
It was. And it was directed by Stephen King. Just so for you little tidbits.
Stephen King's fantastic.
He's fantastic.
So let's
Have
do
you
a
read any of
fan-
his
Let's do
son?
a fan-made Maximum Overdrive with a semi that has my face on it instead of the
Yes.
Goblin.
So-
But we'll make the semi look like Optimus Prime, and we paint it up
Oh.
just like Optimus Prime with
I
a
think we
big
should-
Carey grin on the front.
That'll be pretty
I
terrific.
think we should use
Everyone-
horsehair for your beard.
Everyone will try to hug the front of the semi,
Then I
which
run
will
them-
result in like
Plowing
mass
them out.
suicide. So it'll be a
No.
completely different story.
Complete success.
You're gonna think it's just like a straight up Christine style thing going on, but it's not.
Nope, Carrie's actually driving the vehicle, maniacally
He
laughing.
just doesn't stop when people try to hug the car. He just gets a chuckle out of it. Speed bumps.
Get the fuck off the front of my car!
Your arm is stuck in my beard. Get out of here.
It's grabbing onto me. Your beard
You're
is
blocking
gra-
it. I want other people to see it.
Well, it was. Oh, I know. Okay, I found it. It's the series creator Bob Crane. He said his favorite Batman of all, and this is I think this is before the new ones. Of all the older ones, his favorite was Val Kilmer of all the Batmans.
Really?
Yes.
Now, does he mean movie or person that portrayed Batman?
Portrayer. No, he did not. I'm sure he didn't like. I hope he didn't like the movie, but he said Val Kilmer was.
Val Kilmer
He
probably
nailed-
just gave him a hand job.
Yeah, because like I don't really see where Val Kilmer did dick in that movie.
He didn't.
Like
see-
each Batman movie, if you notice, Batman as a character is in each one less and less.
Yeah.
Like the fourth Batman movie, like the Batman and Robin, I think Batman's in it for like 3 minutes.
I think it's.
And
I
the
think.
rest of the time, it's the other character.
I think it's just a cardboard
And
cutout for like
it was
half the time.
definitely Clooney doing his best work. Like he wasn't phoning that in at all for the paycheck.
No, definitely not. He would
And
never
he's
do
like,
that.
all I remember in that movie is Clooney like, come on, we gotta climb this shit real quick. And I think that's the only scene he was in.
Everything else was CGI.
And how ridiculous was it? I gotta stop harping, but I gotta mention this one last time when they're suiting up and it's making like the swooshing noises as they're putting their outfits on, and every time it shows each one of their asses. Like it's one of the quick shots. It's like leather clad ass with like a sound effect. You know what I mean? Like whoosh, you know? Each one. I mean, it goes from Clooney to what the hell is the what's Robin's actor's name? I can't even think of the
Oh,
Chris
CSI.
O'Donnell.
Chris
O'Donnell,
O'Donnell,
there you
and then Alicia Silverstone. Each one of them have
Oh,
I was
man.
waiting for like Alfred to have his little ass pose moment.
I
you know.
forgot about Alicia Silverstone.
I mean, first of all, not to be homophobic, and second of all, not to jump to another
gay joke.
competing property. But with the Bryan Singer, sex scandal thing, let's not be too surprised when they're like leather clad, super tightly latex clad superhero movies going on that are pretty overtly gay.
Schumacher is like storyboarding for the the next Batman movie before they cancel the series. He's like, and then in this one, you'll all wear ball gags.
They're like, that's it, we're done.
We're pulling your
isn't
funding.
This is ridiculous.
He is a homosexual. You guys know.
I know he is. I
Okay.
was dancing around it. Like,
I'm just making sure.
It was, yeah. If you watched the fourth one, you know
You
that
know
he's
that
a
he is.
homosexual. Like, there's no.
that was his.
There are
That
certain
was
tells.
Joel
It's like
Schumacher's
playing
coming
poker.
out to the
There are
world.
tells.
Is that Batman movie?
Nobody heard
Joel
you. Karen.
Schumacher came out to his parents using that Batman movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like this, you'll understand everything.
It's like I see. They didn't even have to have the conversation. Oh man, yeah. I'm sorry. I forgot about.
Why did you pretend to like football?
Why did you pretend? Oh, I took you to wrestling.
We showered together. Oh,
We starred together.
this is just inappropriate.
Again, everyone, it's all in good humor. Nobody hates anybody.
Carrie has
We
the
love
most
each
to
other
lose.
very much.
Got that.
I hate everybody
Yes, segment
equally.
later.
I love everybody sexually, so
Batman loves evereveryone
He
and
does.
accepts everyone.
It's true.
So
Unless you're will do it, then he fucks you up a lot.
I
Yeah.
want to say that one of his utility about patches is just full of literature about like, oh, don't hate gay people, you know what I mean? Like, and then, oh, don't ever play with fire. That's what I want to say is in his.
He's got one he gives out to victims of sexual assault that he just saved in a crime, like support groups for them to go
Here
to
you
and
go.
shit.
Always buckle up. Goodbye. Yeah, so that's all I got for that. It was really sad how like a big fail that segment was, but whatever. Moving on.
We can try it again,
So,
buddy. We'll
we
see
don't
how
have it now. It's fine. Yeah, we'll try it. Oh, you will
Well,
definitely.
I mean, like in the next
yes,
podcast.
we are definitely trying.
You
You
to
give
want-
me notes beforehand, I won't ruin shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll look-
jeez. Don't
I,
say anything
I'll
that you
research
know.
maybe some stuff better.
Don't research it.
I'll
So I
show
know
up.
what-
I'll show up.
I'll know what I'm talking about next time, not just here simply because of the fact that I dislike the character we're talking about.
I'll
Just-
bring my wiener
You're
with
just a
me.
mean person. So I'm gonna cut this into our interesting facts, but I don't really see how this really applies to. But it was on a blog, and it's a interesting fact about Batman, and I don't know really how it is, except for it's a small part of it. But in 2011, two guys from the UK changed their names to Emperor, Spider-Man, Gandalf, Wolverine, Skywalker, Optimus Prime, Goku, Sonic, Xavier, Ryu, Cloud, Superman, He-Man, Batman, Thrash.
That's fucking.
Was that one guy?
Two guys.
They are my heroes.
Yeah,
That's pretty.
that's a lot. Like,
I would go to stores and have
And write
people
checks
page
for
me.
everything.
I'd be like, "Can you page?" No, I swear this is his name. Here's his driver's license.
it's
Alright,
like extra
Not
big.
worth it. You know how often you have to fill out forms and shit? Like you wanna go somewhere, you gotta fill out a form. You want a credit card, you gotta fill out a form.
Yeah.
That's so much fucking writing.
Mhm.
By that logic, I plan on changing my name to a symbol like Prince. It's just going to be a smiley face.
Mine's gonna be a middle finger.
Sorry,
That's
I
it.
brought up that logic because that was the day Prince became the biggest dick in the world.
But he was still cool because he was in Batman.
Exactly.
I like that it's two guys. Like now it's like it's no longer like, hey, your name is Scott too. Hey, your name is Emperor, Spider-Man, Gandalf, Wolverine. So I'm not gonna keep going, but like at least they made it so that it could happen. You know, they'd accidentally run into each other and like, hey, we're the same.
Twinsies.
So moving on to wrap up, I thought we should, in the vein of a G.I. Joe PSA, we should try and find a silver lining or a moral to this podcast, just so it's not just a complete waste of your time and our time.
Don't get shot in a back alley.
Yeah, don't get shot in a back alley is a very good reason. It's good. It's
I got
good.
for you people.
It's
Buy
good
a
knowledge.
handgun.
Buy a handgun. Okay. So
Whenever Joe Cool shows up and points his gun at your parents, just give him what he asks for.
You can't do anything. You're a small child. That's like the basis of your origin. You
give him
can't
the
do. That's why you
pearls.
trained for 12 years, Carey. What do you think you're doing for those 12 years?
Just so bitter and wants
You're
to
training
the
to beat the shit out of people
the
because you're mad.
mad.
the pain never
And
goes
you
away.
can.
Carey.
I see my mom's dead face every time I punch this punching bag.
That's my moral. If your parents get killed and you're under you got to do 12
There's
years.
going to be a lot of
training. So
variables
how
here.
young
I know
can you be?
before you even
You gotta
says
be. You got to be 23 or younger because you don't want to start being Batman
You
any
gotta be
later than
23.
35.
There's so
All
many
right, never
variables.
mind. Up to 25. You can be 25 years old and still think you can be Batman because I've seen MMA fighters start their career at 37. So 25 plus the 12 years of training.
You also have to
Maybe
be
That's
wealthy.
the moral
Maybe
of
the
this
older-
story.
The older he is,
have to
the
be
dirtier
wealthy.
he fights. Maybe he's just like scratching at people's eyes and shit like that.
That's right, but you don't want to start being Batman any later than 37.
Oh
So if
man,
you're
37.
As long as you're reading comics up through age 25, Batman is your best hope for becoming a superhero.
You can do this.
Unless
This
you
could be
learn how to use a bow really well, but probably you'll still get fucked up because
You
Bow
probably
really
won't be
well.
as good as Hawkeye. So
Didn't bring enough arrows to the fight.
No,
What, like 11?
once you're out of arrows, like you're out of maneuvers.
So
That's
how
it.
many
You're
bad
fucked.
guys
you don't
you
have
kill?
A utility belt full
11.
of other cool
11.
Have you guys seen that bit where that Hawkeye cartoon segment, or not? It wasn't a cartoon. It was a skit on Saturday Night Live.
I avoid watching that show.
Well,
You can avoid watching the show, but YouTube the skit with Hawkeye on Saturday Night Live because they talk about him and his failing of, they're like, so Hawkeye, take care of that guy. He's like, I can't, I'm out of arrows. Well, how many did you bring? And he's like, I don't know, all of them, like 11.
like all of them.
Right, I will watch.
And it's actually Jason Renfro.
Yeah, it's when he guest starred. It's
his guest.
It's like, so I'm gonna head out.
It's pretty great. All right, guys. So we gotta get wrapped up here because it's getting later for everybody, and Lando's got places to be, and I got places not to be, and it's a long story, but I just thought we'd end on a little final note, and what that's going to be is I'm going to start with you, Lando. Quick final note, what you want to leave for your impression on somebody if they just started it right here. Lando's impression of Batman.
All right. If for some reason you skip to the end of this mess and you want my impression of Batman, he's a dork, and you can do way better with superheroes than that.
Oh, he's like, you're talking about him like he's like a boy in high school. You could do way better.
Yeah, you can.
He's not. He's too good. You're too good for him.
You are. You're all too good for Batman. You're all developed enough to understand.
Oh
he's
my,
not that cool.
developed. That was a good. All right.
Okay. Now the opposing argument here, Nicholas, can you give me your too long don't read of this podcast for your impressions of Batman?
My impressions of Batman are that he's pretty fucking dope. Basically, once you realize that you can't get superpowers, he's kind of the guy you look to, and he's like, man, that dude is a badass. He's just rich. He beats the shit out of people. And I don't know, just the origin story and the amount of storytelling that it gives you that he's a real guy. Like, you can't have that many Superman stories. Oh no, there's a guy with a gun. What's gonna happen? A bullet's gonna bounce off of him. You
Not
can
unless
write.
it's made out of a space rock. It's
And
not.
I'm so tired of those superhero origin stories. They're just get more annoying as they go. As
Batman's
they
is
appear.
pretty solid compared to
Yes.
a lot of them out there.
It's solid. Something bad happened to him. He didn't get a ring from outer space, or no one recruited him for an army project with some kind of shot of radiation or something. His parents got killed. He got really sad. He turned it into anger. That drove him to be like this great detective.
It's a revenge
And he's
story.
like it is a revenge story, but it's also a story of like a dude becoming the best version of the person he could be. After his parents got killed, he could have just sat around and fucking drank all day and chilled out and been like, oh, my parents died, whatever. But he's this dude who, granted, he was rich, but he went on a 12-year expedition to become like the greatest living detective and physical specimen. And then he just goes out and beats the shit out of people and figures out crimes. And it's awesome.
Violence solves everything. I mean, even if
Moral of the story, yeah.
No, he puts intelligence into it, and then he adds in the violence, which makes it great.
I found you
on
guys
two
using all
different
this
levels.
intellect, and now I'm gonna bust your face up.
Exactly. That's all the formula you need.
That's it. We can make it.
Batman out, bitches.
So that wraps up our podcast. I want you guys to make sure to check us out on Facebook and on Warp Zone Online, and we're also on iTunes and SoundCloud. Probably not for long because it just set them over our space limit. So iTunes,
iTunes.
check us out on iTunes and YouTube. Thanks guys for doing a podcast with us, Nick and
Thanks for
Lando.
having me.
Yeah, and Carey, and once again, it was nice talking to you guys. Later.
Bye, everybody.
Have
Bye.
a good one.
The Empire strikes back with multiple laser attack, Decepticon infiltration, stealing information, type of communication with recordicons, target massive sound wave stereo. I don't believe in a no-win scenario for an epic adventure, no retreat, no surrender. Cleaning up the city with Mayor Mike Hagar, clashing with the Foot Clan in the shadows of the streetlights, spotlights, bright lights, and if you got a new pet, don't feed him after midnight. Cruising on our bicycles, we never say die. From the attic to the basement, uncovering the secrets with the power bracelet. Ryu and Ken style, kicking it on the pavement. 88 miles per hour, we at a time. Meanwhile, at Warp Zone.